foundation?
I'm Bud Dalton, and I'm the vice president of the foundation, and with some other people worked on trying to get this lease for almost 20 years. And we were finally able to get it, and I ended up being the vice president, Mason ended up being the president, and Gary Brown ended up being director of all our activities.
And what spurred you guys to start this foundation?
Keith Rittmaster had an environmental field station out here from about 1990 to 2007, in which he ran about 7,000 people through here. He taught a college course at one time, did a lot with high school students, family groups, and his environmental program had a huge impact on my family and my kids. And the program was shut down in 2007, and we knew it was going to be shut down, so somewhere around 2002 or 3, we started trying to figure out how to get a longer term lease in order to bring the project back. The project was basically shut down by the Park Service because the infrastructure had gotten to the point that they didn't feel it was safe for the public. Well, the main thing about the infrastructure, the building was built in 1917, just before it was a result of World War I. The Coast Guard station was built and it took the place of the life-saving station, which was out here. So the main thing we had to do for the infrastructure was there was 30,000 pounds of plaster with lead paint that we had to demo and remove, which we did with Axios, which is a very high-end environmental company in Raleigh. We've made every effort to use the very best people we can find. And so that was the first step. And then of course the wiring, if you can imagine wiring from 1917, was no longer good. So we basically had to take all the lead paint, plaster, we had found a little bit of asbestos, not much, remove all that, and then basically rewire and replumb the house. Had a little bit of termite damage, but the house was built with so much heart pine that we were quite amazed at how little rot or any termite damage was actually in the house.
And so the current scope of the restoration includes what buildings at the moment?
Well, we're restoring the station itself and the galley. That's what we're restoring at the moment. That's where we're doing for actual restoration. And the galley will be used mainly for educational purposes, for groups to come in and be able to give lectures, provide them with lunch, a place to get the people out of the sun. Hard to pay attention when it's 95 degrees and the bugs are biting you. So that's one of the things we like about the galley. And then eventually, overnight for groups will be available in the station. Well, EcoEthic Solar is here primarily because we put solar power in here in the 90s with Keith, lead acid batteries. I think we used Magnum inverters. We band-aided it, certainly. And we had a windmill, and so, but it was really band-aid operation. One of the main reasons we want to put the solar back in is, one, because it's environmentally sound, but to also show to the kids that come through and the educational, the opportunities for solar, and that how it's not so much the solar power generating it, but it's energy management. And that's one of the keys, I believe, for the grid system. The future is to learn energy management as much as it is alternative energy. So we're going to have an opportunity here to show kids about amps and watts, load management, things that they don't think about, but just a few simple lessons will make them think. To this day, our kids still will look on the back of any electronic equipment and see how many watts it takes, see what the amperage and the wattage is. And they're very conscious of that. And I think that's something that people just need to be aware of. People never thought about what kind of mileage your car got with the gas until we had a gas shortage. Then immediately people knew to the 10th how far they went. And I think the same thing is true with electricity if you just pay attention.